Welcome to Headfirst and Horizontal, presented by Face Level, the world's premier show featuring human-powered sports experienced with forward motion, headfirst and horizontal to gravity. Headfirst and Horizontal is a humorous conversation giving you a unique and entertaining glimpse at a different side of the Face Level sports athlete you only thought you knew. And now, your hosts, Josh Galt and Jusbyn Lockard.
Cool. I'm feeling a bit out. I'm not wearing a thick padded jacket. I hope it's all right.
There's a bubble coat requirement here.
Exactly.
I thought it was collars. You see, I don't know.
Yeah. How warm is it where you are, Jay?
It's 30.
30, and that would be Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit.
Yes.
So it's 0 degrees
Yeah.
Celsius. What? -1 Celsius?
Oh no.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Incomparable.
Below 0. Yeah.
No, it's wonderful. We're getting ready to go skiing in a couple minutes.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
about an hour, 2 hours. We're gonna hit the slopes. I taught my 7-year-old. I'll have to get you that flat Stanley,
That's-
Charl. I don't know
yeah,
what
that's
happened.
Emily, eh?
Yes, sir. Yep, sure is.
Yeah.
The teacher said she sent it, but it's
Yeah.
probably in 2 years we'll get a return to send her.
Yeah. You should. She should have sent a time capsule.
Yeah, exactly. Your daughter will be graduating from high school, and this little flat guy will show up. Nice.
Cannonball!
We're going down the gully. Well, whatever. He's cool. He's got a helmet on. He'll make it.
You should have given him your helmet that has the flames on it, Jay.
Oh yeah. You want to see my new helmet? You ready?
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah.
Boom.
Whoa, hot rod.
It's a $24 bike helmet from Walmart. Yeah. That's what
no.
I lost.
You
it. I
gotta
left-
you gotta tell the story, Charlie. You gotta hear this.
Okay.
So last Sunday, me and Josh were going to talk, and I was like, I can't talk. I'm going to the river. So we have some flooding going on around here this time of year when the trees aren't blooming. All the rain just goes straight to the rivers. So it was, 10 times the size at this river called Big South Fork. So we get in the car all excited. We take off down the road, and we get about 10 minutes from it, and I'm like, I forgot my helmet. Oh, my God, I forgot my helmet. So he's like, my buddy Alex is like, well, the trip's done. I'm like, nope, we're going to Walmart. So I ran into Walmart and found this bike helmet, and it's for kids. Now, I don't know if you recognize how big this helmet is. This is for an 8-year-old child in the United States. That's how fat their heads are.
That's crazy. I'm speechless.
They're
know where-
growing them bigger now.
Yeah.
my daughter's 8 and she has dreadlocks, and that'll be too big for her.
Oh, that's awesome. And your daughter has dreadlocks?
Yeah.
My daughter wants them bad. She wants them bad. Yeah.
My daughter wants blonde straight hair, so there you go.
Yeah, there you go.
We all want what we can't have, right? Or what we aren't. What's
Grass
different?
is greener.
Yeah.
So you're gonna keep the helmet? Sorry, Josh.
Huh?
Oh yeah, I have
Is
to
that-
keep the helmet. It's gonna come out every
That's
so
it
often.
now.
Yeah,
No, it
I'm
must.
wearing.
Absolutely.
Yeah, this is coming to the Worlds. This is because
Yeah.
Nice.
made by Bell,
Yeah.
the world's cheapest bike manufacturer.
Yeah. I think that's
That's
so
awesome.
great that you went to Walmart. Got that.
Yeah, and then we went down the river, and it was Class 5 rapids. It was awesome. Good time.
Oh wow.
Yes, yeah.
Jeez, solid there.
But no
Now,
pictures
this-
from it, right?
No pictures because of the helmet. My wife would have saw it.
Yeah.
And number 2, this better not be recorded, and so my wife can hear that I wore that on a river. She would kill me.
All right. Well, we don't want that, so we'll keep it
That's awesome.
quiet. We'll keep it under wraps. Yeah. What are your ideas?
If it has to do with the Disney Channel, I'm all in. I can tell you anything about
yeah.
the Disney Channel right now.
Perfect.
John doesn't-
I'm with you there.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
Yeah.
So we'll just cater to a younger generation then. That totally works.
Yeah. I mean,
It's the little kids. Yeah, that's it. I don't know the hell's
Yeah.
going on in the world, but I know what Jesse's
Yeah.
doing.
absolutely.
But see, the thing is, our demographic is gonna know that stuff. Like, if you make, I don't know if SpongeBob is gonna date me, but if you make a SpongeBob joke, or who's the other one, the chick that runs around speaking Spanish,
Dora the
Dora.
Explorer.
Yeah. Like if you make a Dora the Explorer joke or something.
I'm laughing about the chick who runs around. That's awesome. I can't believe you used it. That's awesome. Yes,
Yeah.
the one with no
Sorry, I
parents.
don't have kids.
No, that just cracked me up.
But if you use a reference of that sort of thing, like anyone who's in their 20s is gonna know that, especially that's in the whitewater industry, because it's like when it's 3 o'clock in the morning and they're smoking pot and they're like sitting around watching cartoons, like they're watching Dora the Explorer, they're watching SpongeBob or what. I don't even know what some of these other cartoons are.
Cannonball! I got into it.
Sorry, I'm having a hard time concentrating with Tinkerbell in your hand.
I didn't even recognize I was doing it. I'm so used to doing that crap. I didn't even know I'm playing with Tinkerbell and lip balm, and it's like a second nature thing. No.
Oh boy.
That's awesome. That's good stuff. Yes. This is my Tinkerbell.
Why do you have that on your desk?
I don't know. I got all kinds of stuff my kid drops in here. I got a pink fishing pole back here too. The kid doesn't even fish. There's no fishing going on in this house. Look, you don't believe me. A pink fishing pole.
Nice. Is that like a Snoopy one? I had one of those when I was a kid.
Look, there's no
The only
line.
thing I have is a mouse. Okay, no.
Click. That's awesome.
Fire away at Charl. He's game for anything.
Well, Charles, it's really awesome to meet you finally, man. I've heard a lot about you from Josh over the years and seen some of the wild pictures, those waterfalls and, getting involved with fluid kayaks. That was those boards. That's my favorite one that I've been on so far. So really well done to both you guys.
We got Jay hooked up with an anvil. So
yeah, I saw. Now I've watched your video. It's cool.
Oh well, thank you. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's an addiction. Whitewater is definitely an adrenaline's addiction. I'm playing with lip balm now. If anybody. But
if you feel better with Tinkerbell, you can go back.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my Tinkerbell back. You guys made me all self-conscious about it.
Just don't pull her wings off, okay?
Oh, exactly. I'll get in trouble for that one. I know I will. So, where do you live in South Africa? First off,
I live in Cape Town, which is sort of pretty much the furthest southern city in the African continent. Wow. So you might have seen there's a big mountain there called Table Mountain, which is kind of quite an iconic landmark. It's like this big flat mountain, hence the name, and it sits at the kind of the end of this bay called Table Bay, which is just really, really spectacular.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it looks like a beautiful place. He sent me pictures of like where he lives, near where he lives, and it's like this turquoise, tropical, beautiful ocean, and it's like it's very
Photoshop.
Hold on, I got a map here. We can reference the world map behind right now.
Oh,
perfect.
Wow!
Did you see?
You're gonna have to lift it up though, because I think Cape Town is like way down there.
It's behind my seat. Basically, down here on the bottom.
Butties right now.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sitting on Cape Town.
Pretty much.
Luckily, it's a flat mountain. So, how'd you end up? I mean, how'd you get into riverboarding? Totally.
So I think it was 1999. There was this trip by Mike Horn, the adventurer. He's a South African. And do you know about Mike Horn? You know he is.
Yeah, I've heard of him a lot. Pretty awesome.
Yeah, so in 99, he did this trip where he riverboarded down or hydrospeeded down the length of the Amazon River. So I read about this, and I've come from like bodyboarding, from growing up. That is like the sport I did. And some mates of mine used to actually wave ski, or they also call it paddle skiing, which is riding waves, but you sit on a little, like a kind of a kayak, but it's open. I don't know if you've seen them before.
I've never seen one of those before. I'll have to look that up.
Really? Yeah. Wow, I'll find some videos. Have you seen, Josh? Have you seen the guys who are really good on wave skis?
Yeah. There were some guys in Costa Rica that used to do that on some of the big waves.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Actually incredible. It's kind of it's like a surfboard, but they obviously thicker, they have more volume. And then they have a kind of a seat belt where you sit, the strap, and then also straps your feet that they hook into. Anyway, So these mates of mine are really good. The one guy was actually world champion twice at wave skiing. And so they both at the same time started whitewater kayaking. And I was used to riding waves with them, just bodyboard and they would paddle ski. And then it just worked out at the same time that I saw this thing with Mike Horn, and for the first time saw that there was this thing that you can go down rivers and actually run whitewater lying down. So then I started off making my own boards. I got some old bodyboards, cut them up, kind of heat welded them together, and made this weird little board. And I went down this river like on a 3-day sort of.
So you started right out. You said, "I'm going to try this activity. Let's go for 3 days."
Yeah. That's the kind of,
you committed. You committed to it
yeah,
at that point.
Yeah. And the guys I was with, they were just like, "Oh man, what are you doing?" You know, they were really skeptical. Yeah. So anyway, so I started from there, and then from there, I just kind of every season I'd make like 2 or 3 extra new boards and try different things. My biggest flop, the worst one, was I made one out of polystyrene. You know, I don't know, we call it polystyrene. Those little white balls.
Oh, so it's like the cooler foam, right? That's like
yes,
really
like
fragile.
That.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I shaped this beautiful thing. I shaped it. Then I thought, no, I have to seal it. So I got tarpaulin that you put on the back of a truck. You know, that like thick tarpaulin. It's like a plastic. That's
like X-liner or Rhino-liner is what we call it in the U.S.
Okay, so I got that, and I got the special glue, and I glued it on, and I heat bonded it, and oh man, I ran this river, and it's like a kind of a solid local river, sort of a average grade 4, like a lot of water, and this thing. I actually have some photos of it. I have to explain this to you. It had in the front, it had like a motorcycle handles that come out like this, if you can see, and then I had other handles on the side at the back here, so I could ride like this, you know. But the thing was big, and I'd sealed it. It was red and black and yellow, and anyway, and then I started running this river with these friends. And within like a few 100 meters, it became like an underwater excursion. I was squirtboarding. This thing had sucked in so much water. I was running rapids underwater.
That's
so
awesome.
bad.
Did you make it all the way down though? Did it break apart, or because those are pretty fragile?
No, it didn't break apart. It stayed.
So you squirtboarded for 3 days?
No, that was a bit later. That was different, like a year later. But that board, Josh actually put stringers in, like surfboards. I had stringers in, so it actually stayed. It had good structure.
Nice.
Oh, awesome.
Anyway, I've got a. Do you want to hold on quickly? I've got a photo of that board. Hold on.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, it's great. That's awesome.
Georgia, how are they doing? I just saw your Georgia Cup.
Yes, that's my plug.
Are they? They're not in the top 4, but are they going to a bowl game or?
Yeah, they're playing Louisville. I think they're in the Belk Bowl. Now they've got all these. Man, they've got so many bowls. If it's not one of the top 4, it's some money making scheme.
Right.
So, yeah, they made it to Charlotte. Let me see this thing.
Okay, it's just kind of serendipitous because I just saw it this morning. I was looking through some stuff. So this is a photo of me with the board underwater. Can you see that? You can't.
Yeah, a little bit. The board's completely underwater. You can see your head.
I'll scan. I'll actually scan it, and then there's my fingers pointing at the board. You see that? The yellow and the red?
Yeah, I see it there.
There my finger is.
That's pretty nice.
It looked good, but man, it didn't work at all. Anyway, so I guess like all of us, that was like how we learned. We tried all these different things, and then I found the light foam that the French guys use. That Raphael introduced me to that, and then I took it from there, and I started making those kinds of boards. So.
Yeah. You eventually made the Anvil, the best-selling riverboard ever.
Yeah. Starting from a pretty low base, though.
Well, come on, it's something to be proud of.
Yeah.
So your background was in bodyboarding. Like, were you a sponsored guy? I was trying to remember. I know that you looked like you had that beautiful long flowing hair. I think we need to see a picture of that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and chime in. Yes, you got to show us that picture. I'll show you the picture when I was that young, and it's not cool looking at all.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Josh, I started bodyboarding when I was, I guess about 11, 12. And that's kind of one of those things where I was on the first floor. I was in as the sport started out, and I was a youngster, so I guess it was it was a nice, some of the older guys were probably 15, 16 when I started getting going. And yeah, and it just went kind of well, and I got some sponsors kind of early on, and they stuck with me sort of all the way through until I went to the Navy after school, and then I kind of stopped riding competitively, and I just wasn't into the whole competitive thing. So then I stopped, and I just grew my hair, you know.
You were in the Navy. Did you have to cut it off? Like, I didn't know you were in the Navy. That's like what Bob does. Did you like undo bombs, or what does the South African Navy do?
No, we just.
Oh, so it's kind of like the Canadian Navy, huh? You paddle a canoe. That's like the Canadian Navy. There's like 3 canoes and.
Yeah, no, look, it's South Africa, so we didn't have engines in our boats, you know. So
You didn't have engines in the boats?
no, I'm kidding. So we had to kick them, hold the boats, and kick at the back really hard.
Yeah. Oh, so that's where you develop your kicking strength.
That's how you get a riverboard.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. No, so I actually did communications and operations on the. So I did some trips on some ships around, kind of just the coast of Africa, up and down, and yeah, did some interesting, cool stuff.
Nice.
Did you guys do deal with pirates a lot from South Africa? No,
not at all. No,
it's before
those days.
Yeah, before those. All right, I didn't know.
What do you mean? There have been pirates for hundreds of years, and there's still pirates.
Yeah, you're right, but not. I'm going to tell you a pirate story quickly.
Okay.
So my son, Jusbyn, I have a son, Leo, who's 12 years old.
Right.
So a few years back, he had a pirate party. So, of course, everybody comes dressed up with eye patches and, you know, funny horror laughs and kind of all kinds of outfits. One boy arrived just dressed in his normal clothes with a stack of black DVDs.
That's awesome. The pirate part.
Okay.
Did he have a Napster T-shirt on?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yes. Yeah.
No, but you have traveled all over Africa working and stuff. Like, have you ever? I mean, because you've done all kinds of stuff. But have you ever dealt with any? You haven't dealt with pirates then, but have you dealt with any other of the stuff that we hear in the Western world about Africa with, like, I don't know, crazy tribal wars or any of that kind of stuff? I mean, not to make light of it, but have you gone through any of those kind of experiences?
No, not at all. I mean, I guess, you know, South Africa is different because it sort of straddles the first and the third world. So there's some places that have amazing infrastructure that's sort of on par with anything the first world has, and then there are other places that are just like terrible, and you know, the infrastructure is really poor, and people don't have running water and electricity and toilets or whatever. So it kind of straddles the two, and because of the past of this, the history of this country, there's because of the politics and so on, there are people who are still struggling a lot, and the others who, you know, are styling like anybody else in the West, I guess. So, so in many ways, I guess, I mean, I've grown up to all intents and purposes in a pretty first world environment, you know, as opposed to many other South Africans, because it's kind of, I live in a cosmopolitan city where I deal or, you know, interact with people from around the world, and, you know, the businesses we're part of are part of big corporations, so.
Yeah, but you
traveled. Part of the system.
You traveled all over like Botswana and Namibia and Zambia and all those places, right? Like those are not quite as on the same level as South Africa. Yeah,
no, not at all. I guess even the capital cities in those places, they're not really. Maybe by the same token, you know, I'm probably not always aware of how, you know, used to it or how jaded one becomes to like the stuff that's around. So I think it's normal, you know. I mean, is it not normal seeing people squatting and weeing in the road and, you know, stuff like that?
I don't know. Jay, when was the last time you saw somebody taking a piss on the side of the road?
I was going to say Sunday.
Oh, really? Oh, I forgot you live in Tennessee. Sorry.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I was in North Carolina at a college. Yep.
Cannonball!
So, what are some of the more hairy situations you've been in riverboarding?
I guess. Yeah, we have a local river here called the Vit, which means the white. And it's in a gorge. It's really steep. I think it's about 12 kilometers long, and it's on high water. It's really fast, but it has lots of very severe siphons. And so the one year, I guess about 3-4 years ago, I'd run it that season quite a bit with my friend Harry, who's a really good kayaker. And the one day we got to the river, and there's sort of this indicator rock where you can kind of measure, what the water level's like right at the top at the pudding. And we checked it out, and it was probably about 2 foot above the level that's usually the cutoff for being too high. But we were kind of a little arrogant, we thought, hey man, we've run this thing, let's check it out. But we thought, no, we won't do the whole river. We'll just there's a put-in sort of about 3/4 of the way down. So just really at the last 3-4 kilometers maybe at the end. So we put in there, and he was leading, and I was behind him. And I remember it was the first day I'd rigged up. This is long before GoPro had those poles with the mounts for the cameras. But I'd rigged up my own one. I took a telescopic leg of a tripod for a camera, and I'd rigged up this thing in the back of my hydrospeed with the GoPros to kind of get this aerial view thing. And we headed down. But as I put onto the river, it just went. It was just so quick, And I immediately thought, oh man, this is serious. And so I followed Harry, and probably we did about a few hundred meters, and we were in this one section where you come down a big rapid, and then you're on river left, and then you have to quickly make your way across to river right, and there's this big rock that sticks out, and you have to go kind of just nudge past it on the right-hand side, and then run the rapid there. So he was leading, and I followed him. He kind of went around this rock, and as I got to the rock to go around, it just sucked me around. There was a siphon right on the left-hand side of the rock, which I didn't even see or know about, and I got sucked into the siphon feet first, and it just ripped the board out of my hand. Yeah, and it just ripped the board out of my hands and sucked me down underwater. And I kind of felt, I don't know, but it felt like I was going through almost like a tunnel of rocks underwater. And at one point, I got stuck with my PFD. So just for a moment, it was like I got stuck, and then it let me go again. And I came up probably about 10 meters further on the bottom end of the rapid. And my board was gone, and Harry's eyes were this big, and my eyes were bigger. Yeah,
oh my Lord!
That was really, really. No, that was like scared. That was really,
did
really.
You have, that night, did you have a hard time sleeping?
No, I think I was fine. But the next weekend we ran a different river. And actually, the first time that we ran this other river called Back of the Moon, and it has an end section which looks quite gnarly. I've run it lots now, and it's not really, but it looks gnarly, and. Just getting there a week later and looking at this rapid, I was so intimidated. I didn't realize how much that thing had affected me the week before. But standing in that river, looking at that rapid, I was completely psyched out. It took a lot to eventually run it, because I was going to do the first. I was going to be the first guy to run it as well. And so, yeah, I think, to be honest, that rapid and that run probably put me back a bit. Just it made me, I guess, more cautious, and it made me scared of rivers more than I ever was, man. It was really, really scary.
Right. Wow, so, that's horrible. I'm glad you're all right. Jeez, that sounds pretty hard. Yeah. Cannonball! Yeah,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, just like anybody on the river, you have friends. Both of us, all three of us here. You've had friends say, "Y'all are crazy," and you're like, "Oh no, you need to meet people that I've been on the river with." That's great.
Jay, were you there on the gully when the lady that kept going into the woods to do meth was with us? And then she finally disappeared. No,
no, that was y'all's trip.
Yeah, that was my first experience with the gully. Yeah, let me tell you, it was quite an experience. This lady
welcome to by God, West Virginia.
Exactly.
Meth. Yeah. It's a drug made out of batteries and chlorine and
Do you have that in South Africa, Charl?
Do you have a South Africa?
I don't. There might be, but I watched some Breaking Bad. Is it the same thing?
Yeah,
that TV program?
Yeah.
Is it the same thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jeez, no, it's terrible.
Yeah.
There's some pretty bad things here, I guess, in the. We call it townships in some of the areas where people live who are like, not so well off or financially disadvantaged, whatever. And yeah, there's some stuff there that I think is probably similar. You know, the guys make up all kinds of their own drugs and things. It's anyway, crazy.
Wow.
So here's a question. We'll just go straight into this little segment that we like to do on our show called.
Yes.
What are we going to call it? The either or something. You have to come up with a name for it.
Either or.
So meth or.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna
just kidding. Jay, do you have a list of this stuff? I don't have it in front of me.
I do. I'll go ahead and hit them. All right.
We could start with that though, like meth or cocaine. I don't know. All right, do some real ones.
All right, winter or summer?
Winter.
Winter. All right.
Wait. We have to ask him why. I think, don't we?
Yeah. Why?
Like
Yeah. Let's do that. Why? Why
Cape
you pick
Town.
winter over summer?
Cape Town is in a winter rainfall area, so that's when our rivers run.
All right.
Okay. When it's winter, how cold is it in winter there?
Nah, it's nothing like probably average about 13 degrees Celsius.
Cold enough.
Sometimes it snows where we go to run rivers, but not just up in the mountains, not really on the rivers. So that's kind of as cold as it gets.
So you've seen
it's
snow?
nothing. I have.
Oh, okay. Because a lot of people that live in tropical places, like they've never seen snow. Like Max has never seen snow. We were talking about that the other day.
Yeah. No, we actually we went to snow. There's a place here called Headfirst, about an hour and a half away from where I live, and it's up in the mountains, and it snows like solidly there. We went there and we had snowball fights with the kids and all kinds of stuff.
Right on.
Oh wow.
We felt very.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
Anyway,
there's Miley Cyrus or Taylor Swift. Charlie, you're the one that wrote that one down, which is even the best part about this.
I can't wait to hear this one.
Yeah, and I'm gonna know, and you have to tell us why.
Yeah.
Okay. First off, I actually know who they are. I think I'll have to go with Taylor Swift. I actually quite like the music of hers that I've heard because my kids listen to it, so I've gotten kind of into it. I know some of the stuff.
Favorite song?
Oh, I don't know.
That's
I don't know it that well.
Oh, okay.
awesome. All right. Waterfalls or you call it grade 5 or we class 5? Waterfalls or class 5?
Yes, man. Josh, I didn't know you were going to ask the stuff of me, man.
Yeah, that's part about it.
Yeah, that's great. If only I knew.
We're gonna have everybody write their own questions down and send.
That's actually a good idea.
Idea, and then hit.
We'll have them write
Grade
questions
5.
for other people.
Yes.
Yeah. I'm going to write some for you and for you.
Okay.
Okay, I'm going with grade 5.
Grade 5. Why so?
I guess just because you can run it's better to just run better to just run a big rapid than to just go down a waterfall. I think it takes probably a bit more skill to actually navigate a rapid well than just popping a waterfall. With no disrespect, I think waterfalls are great, but personally, having done both, I think it's better to be able to run a good line on a good rapid.
I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to hit a couple moves on a waterfall, and but on a class 5, there's numerous critical points you got to hit. So I can see that completely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
For marketing, though, you're right, because just pictures, like people see the waterfall picture and it's like so epic, whereas a lot of times they don't understand why a class 5 rapid is so difficult or dangerous or whatever. So.
Yeah.
Beer or wine?
Wine.
Wine. And I've had wine from South Africa, amazingly.
Yeah, there's some good wines from South Africa.
Yeah, they really are.
Oh, yeah, very. Do you know that Napoleon actually I can't say only drank, but he drank quite a bit of South African wine. So
really,
wow.
Yes, actually, here's my Napoleon story. Can I tell you my Napoleon story?
Please do. Yeah, because nobody has those too often.
Yeah, so I've had that. So we're not.
But he was around before there were pirates, so he was probably chummy with Napoleon.
Oh, that was good.
So when I was in the Navy, we did this trip up the west coast of Africa, and there's this little island called St. Helena Island, which is the island that Napoleon was banished to when he after he was dethroned. So I went into his little kind of the house where he stayed, and it's tiny. I mean, he's like the doorways were lower, and they had a little waistcoat of his, some of his clothes on display, and the waistcoat of his was like that big. He was small. It was amazing.
Wow.
Anyway, so that's like, I guess, in the early 90s. And then in 2004, I went to France to go riverboard with Raphael and the French guys. And we went to Corsica, which is another little island. And that's the island where Napoleon was born. So I ended up going and checking out the place where Napoleon was born. So these two little obscure little islands in the world where Napoleon was born and died, and I've gone to them for some weird reason.
You've done the tour of Napoleon. That's awesome. That is awesome. I think you may be the only person besides some history professor and some, that's done that. That's cool.
Yeah,
I think so.
And we got that off the beer and wine question. Look at that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite kind of South African wine? Because we had South African wine in Costa Rica, and I've actually found it in Asia as well.
Okay.
But it's like the same brand. It's like, it might be a generic South African brand. I'm not sure, but it's
Yeah. I'm not too stuck on one specific one. I definitely red wine. Mm-hmm. And I like, I guess I like a Merlot and a Pinotage. And but brand wise, I actually like trying different ones. So I don't have a specific. We when Cape Town was formed or was founded, it was a replenishment station for sailors, because it's at the tip of Africa. So guys would sail around Africa, and so they started planting vineyards here. And so there's an actual area called Franschhoek, which means French corner, where French settlers came, and that's where they started planting wine and planting vineyards for making wine, and it's become kind of quite a renowned place. So I don't say hundreds, but there are lots and lots of wine farms around Cape Town. So wine's very big in Cape Town, more so than other parts. Pretty much any other place outside of South Africa, outside of Cape Town, South Africa, guys will say they want beer. That's their thing. South Africa is big. In fact, South Africa there's a brewery called SAB, South African Breweries. They've just bought Miller's. If you go and Google them, they own most breweries in the world now. They are massive. So
really?
South Africa is yeah. South Africa is a big beer drinking country. It's really bad.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. I had no idea. Look at that. I learned about beer and Napoleon and all. Wow, it's
going to be very educational. Yeah,
this is going to be educational. Yeah. I need to get a journal going here. This is awesome.
All right, Charl, give us one of your questions. One for Jay and one for me.
Oh,
just payback.
You don't have that list, do you?
I don't know.
He's got to do it off the top of his head.
But off the top of my head.
I think that may even be worse. Not the list.
Okay. So, Jusbyn, tell me your best story from when you were studying at college or university.
Oh my God, my best college story. My first day at college, I leave. My parents dropped me off, and they were very, very quick to get out of there. Like most parents are like, "Oh, we're gonna miss you," and I'm watching all the other parents crying and hugging their kids, and my dad dumps my stuff in the living room, in the dorm room, pats me on the back, and he's like, "Gotta go!" Boom, they were gone. I mean, they were out of there. So I'm like, wow. And my roommates were like, "Yeah, that was touching." I was like, "Yeah, this is gonna be awful." So they left. It was about 6 o'clock. So we all go out for the night. And I'd just gotten on campus. I'd done one tour. So we walk out and go out that night. And, I'm 18. It's my first time out of the, really out and about away from the parents. So, of course, got completely inebriated, just drunk to a whole nother level. And I lost everybody and started walking back onto campus and could not find my dorm. They all looked the same. Everything looked the exact same. I'm like, oh my God. So I knew my cousin went to school there, and he said, just follow the clock. And then on my college in Radford, Virginia, there's a gigantic 13-story building with a clock. That's the polar opposite direction from where my dorm is. But I remember follow the clock. I walked way far away from my dorm. I'm like, I'm nowhere near where I need to be. So I just laid on a bench and woke up the next morning. The day classes started.
Oh, no.
And the first class was religion.
That is awesome.
Wow. That's an intense story.
Yeah.
Did you ever find your way back to your dorm room?
The next morning.
Yeah.
Literally when it was like 8 o'clock in the morning. I mean, I was sound asleep. I was sleeping good. That was a good night. That was a good night's sleep. Right there on the park bench, and everybody's going to class, hundreds of kids, and nobody woke me up. It was very polite of them. They just let them sleep it off. Let them have a break. Yeah. Interesting.
Then you stumble into the information office. I don't know where my dorm is.
No, I can remember the next day.
Oh,
next day I did, but at dark I couldn't tell what was what. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you, Charl. Good question. All right, Josh, what's yours?
No, I thought it was gonna be like
a
like best day or worst day. Well, I don't know. What are the questions? Taylor Swift or Miley Cyrus sort of thing.
I was going to ask you what. Tell us about your first kiss, Josh.
Oh, geez, no, I don't kiss and tell. Sorry.
Oh, okay, cool.
I think I was like 5 years old. I was kind of a player when I was young.
All right.
Look, I got 7. No, don't say that. No, that just gave me a heartburn.
Oh yeah, I forgot you guys have kids that age. Yeah, well, what you don't know, just don't worry about it.
My kid's grounded when she gets home.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
No.
Thanks.
My wife said I had to send the video of me making weird noises in that hole. She said send him that one.
Yes.
I was like, that's emasculating, and I refuse to send that.
No, because we need that video because the show is going to be about like demonstrating what the sport is all about, and so we'll do a little segment and be like, okay, we're gonna withhold this guy's name just because it's kind of a hard thing for him. But this is what happens when you get stuck. This is what happens when you get stuck in a hole, and we'll show the Guatemalans so they can understand what happens when you get stuck in a hole.
We're gonna withhold his name, and that'll blow it up right out there. Who was that? Yeah, go ahead, throw it out there. That's fine. Yeah, I got stuck in a hole, Charl, on the Green River Narrows with Josh.
I watched that video. I mean,
and while I was in it, when I watched the raw footage, and I had the volume off, and my cousin came a couple weeks ago, and I turned the volume up, and there I am going, woo, woo. I didn't even know I made the noise. I didn't know that noise came from me. That is what happens when fear is coming from within you out.
Yeah.
It sounds like a 7-year-old girl having to run to the restroom. Woo! That's what it sounds. Yeah, that's my fear voice. I thought it would be a little more masculine. You hear somebody get hurt, and you're like, man, that was kind of girly sounding. And I was like, I know mine would be like, oh, yeah, girl, I'm hurt. No, mine, oh.
Yeah, we definitely need that video.
I said it did. Yeah, that was awesome.
All right. Cool.
So, Jusbyn, how's this for awkward? I have this good friend. I'm not going to say his name, but he's also known as Mr. Face Level. So this is awkward, right? He gives me a pair of Superman jocks in front of a group of 200 people.
But you got to understand the context. Like, everybody was saying that he was Clark Kent all week because he looks like Clark Kent, right? And so at the World Championship, everybody was like
Clark Kent. There is a similarity there.
Yeah,
I'll agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
So at the awards ceremony, like for the full on, like the end of the event, the big awards ceremony for trophies and stuff, like Amy and I had gone to get gifts for all of the main staff, and we were trying to figure out what we could do. So we tried to get like entertaining, fun gifts for people because we didn't want to spend a lot of money. That's really what it was. We were trying to be cheap. So, yeah, I saw these Superman underwear in some shop, and I was like, we are getting these for Charl. We have to get these for Charl. So, yeah. But he put them on of his own accord. He liked them so much.
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing that they go on over the underpants. I mean, that's how you wear them, right? So.
Yeah. That's how they're supposed to go. Cannonball! Yeah, so he's training in the pool. He's training at work, and I'm not sure if anybody else is honestly training hard. I hope so, because it's going to be super competitive.
Yeah, I know some guys that that have told me their training routine. Some are a little more interesting than others.
Yeah.
So yeah, one guy's doing Tai Chi. He's getting ready by doing Tai Chi.
Tai Chi.
Tai
Wow.
Chi. Yes.
Wow. Doing something by doing nothing. That's interesting.
That's exactly what it is. I was like, that's awesome. Where do you go with that one? You're like, oh, I wish you the best. You know?
Yeah. No, it's gonna be important to train. I think most guys will probably just use like the spring and summer and then continue into the fall, just being in the river as they're training. But I mean, the course is like 5 minutes long. It'll between 4 and 5 minutes probably. And it's like full on. There's a few sections of like 50 meters where it's kind of just some waves, but for the most part, yeah, it's intense, and the moves we made as difficult as possible, like crossing the current in class 4 and that kind of stuff. So it's exhausting. Maybe I'm just out of shape, but it feels like it's pretty tough. So
no, I watched that video of you running it when you were talking, as you were going through it.
Oh yeah, you've seen that. Yeah,
that's a solid course, man.
Yeah, it should be really fun though. So. I hope people are training. If nobody trains, then maybe I'll jump in there and race. But I think people are going to train, and it's going to be super competitive. Bob wants people to challenge him, and I think he's going to have his hands full. Not just with Justin and Gauthier, but I think there's going to be people that come from New Zealand or from the States that we didn't know about. So
yeah,
it'll be cool.
So we need that picture of the long hair.
Oh yes, it's on his Facebook. Go stalk his Facebook; you'll find it.
And we'll superimpose Superman underwear. I don't know how to do it. I'm not good enough with it. That's funny though.
All right, guys.
Cool, man.
Cool. Really appreciate it. I'm looking forward to this. It's gonna be fun. This will be enjoyable.
Good chatting, Jess. Nice meeting you, man.
Hey, Charl, it's nice meeting you, man. We'll talk many times.
All right.
Sounds good.
Take care, guys.
Thank you very much.
Good weekend.
All right. You guys too. We'll talk to you soon.
See you, Josh.
Cheers.
Bye-bye.